Hi Poke fans! Today I have a very fun video for you guys. It's actually a unique story about 4 different treasures that were given to the Paldean king and what happened to those treasures. So let's quickly get into this video and see what happens. Of course, if you have taken classes in your game, that is especially the history classes, you probably know the story by now. And I think the story kind of starts after the midterm exam, so you do have to actually complete the midterm exams. But if you have completed it, all you have to do is go ahead and take the next history class to get to know about it. So let's go ahead and do that in this episode. As usual, we just have to talk to the receptionist and select the history class to go ahead and attend it. I would also recommend you guys to go ahead and complete the main storyline as well. Alright, here we are, and this is our teacher, Rayford. Let's see what she has to say. Alright. I imagine your ability to concentrate has been spectacularly derailed by my midterms. I suppose changing things up for fun and variety may be a good idea right now. Alright, so she's gonna tell us an old fairy tale passed down in Paldean. Once upon a time, there was a king who very much enjoyed collecting treasure. He was particularly fond of treasures from other countries. One day, a merchant from East heard rumors of this king and came to meet him. The merchant laid out 4 treasures in front of the treasure-loving king. The 4 treasures were as follows: a vessel, a sword, a set of tablets, and a set of beads. All 4 unique treasures indeed. Seeing such rarities before him, the king leaped for joy. He showered the merchant with gold coins and claimed all 4 treasures for himself. Perfect timing to make eye contact. So I guess she's gonna ask us a question. Okay, so she did say a treasure is a set of tablets. I think they were wooden planks because that's what they used before. So I'm gonna be selecting that option. And that is the correct answer. Okay, pretty cool. These particular tablets were wooden and used as a writing medium in the East in ancient times. As you may know, they fell out of popular use as paper became more universally available. For the king to consider these paper substitutes treasures, they must have been superb quality. That, or perhaps they had some amazingly profound teaching written on them. So the king obtained these 4 treasures, and on that very night, it is said that a terrible disaster rained down upon his castle, reducing it to rubble by dawn. Okay, interesting. Oh, is it time already? I wasn't done with my story, but alas, so ends today's lesson. If you're interested in how the story ends, you may come to see me outside class hours. Alright. Sadly, she wasn't able to complete the story for us, so we do have to kind of talk to her after the class. I think we can actually talk to her right away, now that the class is actually over. In order to see her location, you can just go ahead and interact with this computer right here. And as per it, she is present right here in the entrance hall. Now I do have a couple other NPCs who do want to talk to me. Mainly it's just Penny, Arvin and Nemona, whom I'm gonna talk at some other time, since we are kind of focusing this episode on the 4 treasure storyline. Alright, let me actually try to find her. Okay, there she is. Let me quickly go ahead and talk to her again. Why, if it isn't Dash from class 1A. Are you perhaps interested in the rest of the old tale I told you in the class? That we are. Okay, it is convenient that you would take bait I presented in the class. A vessel, a sword, a set of tablets and a set of beads. After obtaining these 4 treasures, the king's castle was destroyed. Why, you ask? Because these 4 treasures were actually 4 Pokemons. Now that's pretty good reveal. As these Pokemons were passed from human hand to human hand as treasures, they slowly became tainted by hubris and greed. Finally, after coming in contact with the rapacity of the king at that time, They awakened as disasters and began to rampage out of control. Okay. The king called for renowned Pokemon wielders to defend the country, and after a furious battle, these incarnations of disaster were quelled. It is said that these 4 Pokemon were then sealed away somewhere in Paldean. So, what do you think? Would you say the story is just make-believe? To be honest, I don't think so, because they seem to be kind of genuine, but let's see. Very aesthetic of you. I have read many historical disaster reports, personal journals and the like. There is much to support the truth of this story. If I'm able to prove the story's veracity myself, I'll be sure to let you know. Okay, that's good. Personally, I think I really like the story. It's really amazing. Also, it's actually talking about 4 different legendary Pokemon that you can actually catch in this game. You can actually interact with them without talking to her or without knowing the storyline. But once you get to know the storyline, she will actually help you in catching them as well. So I would definitely recommend you guys go ahead and at least try taking the history lessons. In this case, if you want to complete this whole storyline, you do have to kind of get the history final exam completed as well. As you might have seen, in my case, I have still 2 classes left, so let me quickly go ahead and take her classes. Also, I think if you do want to kind of know the background of this game or some bit of lore for your theories, I would probably recommend you guys go ahead and take the history lesson. Right here, she's actually talking about the expenditure that has happened 200 years ago for the Area 0. And what she does recommend us in this class is to go ahead and check out the Scarlet book. I think I've already made a video about Scarlet book and about each and every content that it has. You can go ahead and check it out in my channel. If you are interested to check out this book in your game, all you have to do is go ahead to the entrance area, and right side you do have a small bookcase where you'll be able to find either the Scarlet book or the Violet book depending on the versions. But of course, out of all the classes that we have in this game, I think I really like the history class. Not only do we get to know more about the lore of this game or the history of Paldean itself, we do have these small stories that the teacher does tell us, which is pretty cool. By the way, if you have seen the map of Paldean, there is a part of the map that is still inaccessible for us, which means there might be a DLC for it, and we might have some clue for it in the Scarlet book as well. You never know, but I think it's pretty interesting. I do have a couple of theories myself, and I think I'll make a video on those theories in the future, so look out for that video. It's coming up. But of course, back to this history class, I'll quickly try and complete both of the classes that are remaining, and I'll show you guys the final exam questions as well, in case if you guys are interested to complete the exams as well. Now, there is an advantage in completing the exams. You will get some free experience candies from doing so, and in some cases you might get some extra gifts. In case of the history teacher, you do have the 4 legendary Pokemon whose storyline is actually open to you. And I think in case of some other classes, you might get some new Pokemons. So definitely it's quite worth, going through these classes as well. Anyway, I do have one more class to attend. It's actually the History 6. So let's quickly go ahead and attend this class. I think the History 6 class is very important because it does tell us quite a few information that we didn't know before. So let's quickly go ahead and see what she has to say right here. Alright, she is gonna tell us one more thing, and it's actually on the Area 0 expedition. Alas, 200 years is not that long ago. Not that long ago at all. I guess she is a bit angry that she does have to talk about the most recent past. And And she does also question us on that, by the way, which I really didn't know how to answer. Right here, I think I do have to agree with her for now. Alright. However, I'm afraid I risk incurring the wrath of our dear director if I stray away from the curriculum. I suppose I have no choice but to let the flow of time carry us towards the future. In this last class of ours, I shall fill your minds with the history of the terrestrial phenomenon. The technology behind Terra Ops has its origin in Area Zero. Even after the Area Zero expedition supposedly reached the crater's deepest depths. And of course, the camera is zooming on her face right now. Others continue to explore that area. And around 140 years ago, Pokemon cloaked in mysterious light were discovered there. As you might already have guessed, these were in fact terrestrialized Pokemon. However, when those who discovered these Pokemon brought them out of Area Zero, the light faded and the terrestrial phenomenon remained a mystery for quite some time. However, 10 years ago, that might as well as be present day, a certain someone you have definitely heard of unraveled this mystery. Okay, I guess I know who that is. And she's gonna ask us who that was, and of course the answer is actually Professor Sada. Right? You can incorrectly answer here as well, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, approximately 10 years ago, a professor named Sada unraveled the mystery of terrestrial phenomenon. She discovered that the shining crystals down in the Area Zero, or rather the energy they emit, is what causes Pokemon to terrestrialize. This led the professor to invent Terra Op technology and to develop a practical use for it. This technology was then shared with both the Pokemon League and our academy. Rumors has it that Director Clevel was one of the researchers on Professor's team. Alas, this story is much less exciting now that someone all we know appears in it. Modern history truly is dull, isn't it? That is quite hilarious. But that is the end of all the history class we have in this school or this academy, and I think I actually enjoyed it myself, coming to know a lot about Paldea and its history. But now that we have completed all the history classes, the only thing left for us to do is go ahead and complete the history midterm exam. So let me quickly talk to the receptionist right here. Select the history final and go ahead with this. Of course, you do have to have 4 answers correct in order to pass the final exam. So I think it's pretty interesting. I mean, all the answers are given to us and I don't really have to worry too much about it. The first question, I think the answer is gonna be Area Zero. For the second one, it's gonna be 805 years ago. Third one is a folding fan, which does not belong to the 4 treasures. The fourth one is actually Heath. You would know this if you have read the Scarlet book or I think attended the History 5 class. Last one, the answer is gonna be 10 years ago. So these are the 5 questions and I think most of the answers are coming from the 4th, 5th and the 6th class. So if you have attended them or listened to them, I think this exam is pretty easy. Anyway, now that we have completed the final exam for history, all we have to do is talk to this receptionist right here and we have passed the exam. There we go. We also get 5 experience candy M, which by the way is pretty cool. Now that we have completed the exam, the only thing left to do is talk to Miss Rayford. She's actually gonna be in the entrance hall once more, where we actually met her the last time. So let me quickly go ahead and talk to her. Let's see if she has some updates. Dash, the time has come. The cursed treasures, the 4 Pokemons of Ruin. They exist. And I stumbled upon the truth in the newspaper of all places. In an interview piece with a carpenter no less. That's good. The Pokemon wielders apparently use sacred stakes to seal these treasures of ruin in shrines. There is a separate shrine for each of the 4 Pokemon and 8 stakes driven into the ground in areas surrounding each shrine keep the power of ruin at bay. I think we have seen this before. In other words, if all stakes for a given shrine were to be removed, it would release the Pokemon held inside. Don't you think it would be nice to free those Pokemon from the confines of their tiny little shrines, Dash? To be honest, in real life, I wouldn't do this, but since this is a game, we are gonna release them. A kind soul, I see. You're proving truly useful. According to the descendants of the Pokemon wielders in the story, you must have a bond with Pokemon in order to remove the stakes. I'm sure someone as Pokemon savvy as yourself would have no trouble at all with that. You can choose for yourself whether to believe me or not, but I will mark the location of these shrines on your map. That is really good and quite helpful. We have of course seen one of them in our game playthroughs, so I'm really excited about this. Of course she does want to go, but apparently the director is gonna be suspicious of her, so I guess it's all up to us. You can think it is a part of your treasure hunt. Treasures of ruins are still treasures after all. I hope you'll investigate these shrines if you are at all inclined to do so. And that is all on the 4 Pokemon treasures storyline. Now this is just the part 1 of it. If you do check the map after talking to her, you can actually see the shrine being present right here. So here we have the Grass Wither Shrine, which is pretty cool. I think I'll start with this one. You do have to find 8 different stakes for all 4 of these shrines and remove them before you can actually interact with the Pokemon. I think we can do this one after the other. We have like 4 shrines in 4 sides of Paldean, so definitely this is gonna be quite an adventure. I really hope that you guys will come with me on this journey and try to catch the legendary Pokemons as well. And if you have already caught them, let me know in the comment sections. I'm really interested to see that. But if you haven't, you can check out my next video on these. I'll be going ahead and showing you guys all the location of each of these stakes and how to actually find the shrine itself. I'll also show you guys how to catch the Pokemon, so definitely it's gonna be a small journey for us. Anyway, that's all I had for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please go ahead and like and subscribe to my videos. If you'd like to check out my gameplay, I also have that uploaded in my channel, so check it out. If you'd like to support me more, go ahead and check out the links in my description, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.